What it is with Triggz. Yeah, the team Triggz. Yeah, the team Triggz. Well, a lot to get through tonight. I'm busy 24/7, but everyone's been killing my life, asking me why I haven't been going live. Someone just asked me now, why haven't you gone live on Fridays? I've been very, very busy. A lot has been on my plate. Thank you very much, Facts Only. And I've been handed massive opportunities in the past 2 weeks. So I've kind of slowed down on the lives, not because of any specific reason. I'm still here for the younger generation. That's the reason why I put my head on show. But I also have to remember that I have a family to look after, you know. So for those of you who've been asking why I haven't been going live much, that's the reason why. I got handed big opportunity, and I'm in and amongst that right now. But I'll tell you all that once it's secured. I'm not going to sit here and talk rubbish about things that hasn't been secured yet, yeah? But trust me, this goal that I have, for all of you that don't know, I had a goal when I got out of prison 6 months ago. My goal was to make $1 million in 1 year. We hit about $240,000. Then I invested 100. Long story short, we're going, but we're going very slow. Needed to up the ante on things, and I've had a lot of people reach out to me wanting to help me reach that goal. Love you, Philos, appreciate you. The companies that have reached out to me to help, obviously, like they don't want to be known. They just want to be in the so yeah, the things that that have popped up, it's massive things that I never thought would ever come my way, but it's opportunity that I have to get my head around, you know. You're all gonna see Triggz go to tape. But I don't care, you know, if it's it's not crypto, it's remember when I was explaining to you guys about trying to network? Don't hang around the same crowd. Get out there and experience the world. Woo! I appreciate you, Tay. Thank you very much. Now, I told you guys to leave your little circle, you know, like always have your closest ones. You know yourself that you can only count your closest ones on one hand, yeah? I'll get Facts Only. And but you have to get out of that circle and experience life. You have to get out of your area and experience life. You know, especially for you guys who are coming up in the criminal world, I'm talking directly to you, because you are the guys that are repping your area, you know, all these postcode wars that's going on. You are the ones that I'm talking directly to. You know, if you're gonna be in that world, obviously you are in that world because you want to make money, yeah? But if you're in that world to want to make money, the whole point of making money is to get out of the area, not to stay in the area, you know. And once you get out of the area and you expand, then, you know, just pay it forward, you know, because trust me, you're only alive today because God deemed it to be. If he wanted you gone, you'd be gone. It's as simple as that. I went live the other night for only an hour. For those of you who watched that live that happened there, I only went for an hour because I had an important meeting, which is what I'm talking about right now. I'm not going to get into it, but that's the reason why I only went live for 1 hour. And there was a lot of people that complained about the things that I spoke about. Not in a negative way. They complained because I finished my live too early, 1 hour. And everybody had a lot of questions, and everybody sent through a lot of messages asking me like, what happened there, Tay? Appreciate you, Tay. Love you. Thank you very much. You're the team, Triggz. Now, for those of you who are tuning in now, obviously the numbers are pumping up, because in that 1 hour, my wife was right. She said to me, you rushed it. And I go, rushed what? She goes, the stories that you were telling, she goes, it really seemed like you were rushing it because you were trying to get to your meeting. And she goes, I don't think people understood exactly what you were getting to, because you were trying to like get off your live, you know, so you were rushing everything you were saying. And then I had people that were hitting me up today saying, please, like, bring that stuff back up that you were talking about the other night, because we didn't catch it. So I don't know what everyone was doing the other night, But everyone that did catch it got very upset with me because I finished up my live in 1 hour. So tonight, guys, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be explaining everything thoroughly. The situation with Jenny, what's her name? Jenny Al Hassan. I will be talking about her as well, but I'll be bringing up a little bit of the stuff that Jenny Al Hassan, Jason. This girl is the girl that what's called, has got a lot of followers and a lot of people like her because she's entertaining. You know, I don't really know her, but the reason why I'm going to be bringing up her name is because a certain situation occurred the other day that I had nothing to do with, and then pretty much she was like sort of like going off at me, thinking it was me that she was talking to. All right, let's go, Team Triggz. Let's go. First thing first, let's get everyone to tap up those likes. Now remember, I need the algorithm to catch my lives so that they may be able to spear it out to the rest of the world. And I can't do that unless, hey, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And for those of you who don't understand it, like the more the likes pump and comments and all that stuff after the lives, the more TikTok will want to push it out there. So I need you guys to tap up the likes. And for those of you who know what heart me, yes, Johnny, appreciate you. Please see that thing that just popped up on my head. I need you guys to heart me. I just found out a couple of days ago that a lot of families have been watching my lives, but they've been putting my lives on their TV and everybody's been watching it together, yeah? Please, guys, if you have a mobile phone, just put my live on your mobile phone so it can catch the algorithm when it sees the views. It deems it like what's called something that they should push out more to the world, you know. So if you're watching me on the big screen, like I've seen the videos of all the workers, the construction workers, the people that were plumbers that were sending me videos of them watching my lives on big screens. I love yous. My respects to each and every one of you guys. But just as a favor, if you have a mobile phone, put my live on your mobile phone, because the more views there are, the more that the algorithm will catch it and push it out more, yeah? All right. I think we'll start off with what I was talking about. I'll make this one quick because I don't really want to bring it up again, but I was talking about the other night about people sharing their lives with me, yeah? So there's no issue with people sharing their lives, because when you share your life to me, it means, Shadow, appreciate you, that you want me to support your life, like go on there and give gifts or whatever else. Now, I don't have an issue with that. My issue with people that were sharing their lives with me is my wife and I and my personal assistant. We are the only three that gift off this page. So this Triggz Sweetness page, when you see a gift, and it gifts a lot, yeah? If you don't know anything about us giving and paying it forward, Nastia, appreciate you. Go on my Instagram, Triggz, Triggz. There's highlights on there of all the gifts that we give to those who are struggling, yeah? Now, a lot of people, when they see gifts coming from my page, they think it's me. Look, 80% of the time, it's my wife, yeah? Like, she really loves helping people, you know? So that's the reason why it's up there. Appreciate you, love you. Now, there's a lot of people from overseas who support my yeah, Merry Christmas, who support my live, and a lot of these people that support my live can't even speak English, yeah, and yet they show their love and support because of the support my wife has shown them, or the support that I have shown them when we send gifts or we like their posts. I know a lot of yous hold back on stuff like likes and that because you're just scrolling and you don't really care. If you find something funny, you know, you're very, very lucky if you see someone press a like on something that they find funny. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. And there was a guy who released a video on Instagram a couple of weeks ago where he said, I don't understand. You know that likes and comments and shares will help push someone's content, yet you are so lazy that you won't even bother helping someone reach their goals. Me, I don't really care about that stuff. But my thing is, if I'm gifting you and helping you push your stuff, I don't want nothing in return, as in money, yeah? I don't want no gifts, no nothing in return. I've said this from the beginning. But don't share your lives with me again and again and again if you're not gonna at least put a like on my post and a comment. You know what I mean? This is what I got frustrated at, is because the people that I was gifting, or the people that my wife was gifting, or my personal assistant was gifting, they were receiving these gifts, and then they were just sharing their lives with me again, wanting more gifts and more gifts. And then they'll start saying it's their birthday, and then they'll start saying, oh, tomorrow's my big battle. And then my wife was the one who had to, oh, Malia, I appreciate you. And then my wife was the one who had to explain it to me. She had to get it through my thick head, yeah? Facts only. She had to say to me, sit me down and say, babe, you do realize these people that you are gifting, they're the people who are not even supporting your page. And I said, what are you talking about? She goes, all right. She showed me a list, yeah? Tay, love you, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. She said, showed me a thing, and she said, thank you very much. And she said, look, here's all the people that you've gifted, and this is how much you've spent, yeah? And I go, yeah. And she goes, have a look if you can find any comments or likes from them. And I was like, wow. And she showed me a few people. And the worst thing about it is the people that I was actually supporting a lot was my own people, the islanders, yeah? And a lot of these big influential islanders that are on TikTok, they battle people from the UK and US. Now, for those of you who don't know, TikTok is a lot of money, yeah? And a lot of influencers on TikTok right now are gonna hate me for what I'm saying, you know, because they just want to keep TikTok in-house, and they don't want anyone friggin' talking all this rubbish about, oh my life, 3S, appreciate you guys. They don't want me talking about this stuff, but I don't give a damn, you know, like, my thing is, I got on here and put myself on show to help the younger generation, and then I started supporting people due to my brother 212 Heat, who showed me how to gift, yeah? And my own people, I gift them and they never show appreciation. Like probably three have shown appreciation when they post up what I've done. And if you don't understand how it works, so here in Australia, 50,000 coins is $800, all right? And a universe is 44. When you send a universe, I think it's 44 or 48 coins, yeah? Now, for those of you who've seen my page and seen my wife and I gift, we send universes to those that we deem deserve it, yeah? And a universe is $800. $800, that's what people are paying their rent with, you know, once a week. But I do this because I get, here we go. Thank you, Alicia. 44,999. Now, so pretty much 45,000. So remember, 50,000 is $800 Australian. 45,000 is for a universe. That's the biggest gift you can give, yeah? And when I'm sending these to my islander lockdowns, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. When I'm sending these out to my islander people, I don't expect them to send money back, yeah? But at least like show some support on my page. Don't keep sending me your bloody lives and saying I have a battle, I have a birthday, if you can't even do a simple like or simple comment, all right? And yeah, like, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, 100%. For those of you who are commenting now, 100% you guys are right, because what's cool? There was these Samoans. There was about 4 of them, yeah. And I ran around in a circle and I gifted all of them, yeah. And I gifted them about 20,000 coins each, yeah. So you use calculators. $800 is 50 coins. I spent 20,000, 20,000, 20,000, 20,000, and I gave it to them like out of love, because they're from Samoa and they don't have nothing, yeah. Guess what? Not one of them said thank you when I gifted them. They were just like, Triggz. No thank you, no showing appreciation, nothing, yeah. And this is the thing. I do the same thing to people in South Africa. I do the same thing to people, Muslims who are doing it hard, Christians who are doing it hard. You know, like I gift from my heart, and so does my wife. We don't expect money back, yeah? But if you are not supporting my page, then don't send me your friggin' lives. That's what I'm saying. See all these people who are less fortunate that I gift, yeah? They never say thank you, but they never share their lives to me. Like they go live and they beg for money, yeah, but they never share it with me, yeah. So this is the difference between them and the islanders that I gift and show love to, yeah. And mind you, I don't just show love to these certain people. I also show love to anyone that I deem deserves it, especially my wife. Like I had to stop my wife from gifting because she was going overboard, yeah. So that's pretty much what I was talking about the other day, you know, like you don't have to say thank you, but don't send me your lives if you're not supporting my page, you know. And for those who are less fortunate that I also supported, they never say thank you, but again, they never share their lives with me. They don't ask me for anything. I give it out of my heart, and so does my wife. But that's what I'm saying. People on my live right now who are gifting, that you guys just saw a few people that were gifting right now, they can't even speak English, yeah? But they know my wife and I. And every time they see my page, they say, Triggz, how are you and how are your wife? Jinx, Rix, appreciate you guys. You know, and this is how all these people around the world know me and my wife, is because we share the love. But these people who can't even speak English, they go on my page and they like and they comment, you know. Yes, they share their lives to me, but hey, who cares if they share their lives to me? I'll support you if you're supporting me. You know, it's a two-way street. I'm not asking you to give me money back. It's all good in the hood. You know, like I'm in a position where I can help, so I will. If I couldn't help, I won't. All right, let's scratch that right there. We watching on TV. Love yous, appreciate you guys. All right, let's move on from that. All I want to end that subject with is, remember guys, when you have people that that you love or that you want to support, you don't have to give them money. F the gifts, yeah? Like, remember, likes and comments are free. Love you, I appreciate you, my man. So, you know, just put likes and comments on their page. If you think it's worth it, then Caroline, appreciate you. If you think it's worth it, then share it. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to sit here and tell you what to do. All I'm saying is you don't have to gift. You know what I mean? Don't waste your money if you don't have the money to pay your bills. Like, mate, focus on yourself and your family first and foremost. I don't care if these TikTokers are gonna hate what I'm saying, right? They can eat this for all I care. I'm gonna say this because that's how much I recognized when I started gifting. I started going overboard and I didn't realize I was spending so much money. But it's because when I see Australians and New Zealanders losing to the UK and Americans, I'm like, bro, stuff this, I don't care. And I'm like, bang, 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 bang. I'm helping my fellow Australians and fellow New Zealanders and fellow Pacific Islanders win their battles. And then next minute, I got a text message from my wife. She's like, oh, hell no, you just spent $1,200. And I was like, what? How did I spend $1,200? And I was like, looking, and I was like, oh, bro, you know, I didn't even realize. So I understand what you guys are all going through. You know, when you get heavily invested in supporting someone on TikTok, I do not give a damn what these TikTokers think about it. They got an issue, come and see me. You know, it is what it is. My thing is, if you can't afford it, don't do it. And if you want to show support and love, then pump the likes, yeah? And because likes are for free and also the comments are for free. Now, let's move on from that. There was a situation that I explained the other day when I was going live, which everyone kept asking about. And this was about a girl, not just a girl, but females, yeah, who get into that point where they want to be a part of the man's world, all right? Now, being a part of the man's world means they see something that the men are getting involved in. For example, drug dealing, gang-related stuff, crime-related stuff. And then they want to jump in there and they want to be a part of it. But when the consequences hit, they are the first to cry innocent, and they'll be the first to call the police. Now, this is why I'm speaking right now to all the females out there that's with a guy that's doing crime. Because I know that 99% of you females out there are influenced by men when you get involved in crime. All right. Yes, I know that women can stand on their own 2 feet and they do their own crime. But I've grown up in this life and I've seen it, you know, firsthand that 99% of women won't even get involved in this rubbish unless their man leads them down that path. All right. Now, when you want to play in a man's world, you have to be ready to deal with the consequences. And majority of the women aren't ready to deal with the consequences. Now, let me give you an example. There was one girl, yeah, very beautiful girl. She started dating this bikie guy, and then all of a sudden she started talking him up. You know, he's a gangster. He makes a lot of money, and he doesn't take a backward step. And when he was in prison, he pretty much ran the jail. I don't know what stories this guy told her, but this is how she was talking. She was talking like this to not only my sister, but she was also talking like this to myself. Yeah, and I was when I was listening to this, I just kept my mouth shut. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a very, very quiet person unless you step on my toes. Yeah. And when she was saying all this stuff, I just ignored her. And then she asked me my opinion on her man, because obviously I was locked up, yeah? And I said to her, I've never heard your man's name in my life. And I'm just saying to you, just be careful the way you talk, because I don't want you getting in harm's way if something happens to your man. She was like, what do you mean? My man can handle it. My man's this, my man's that. I said, bro, I'm not trying to freaking put your man down. All I'm saying is be careful the way you speak. Okay, you're trying to get yourself involved in the man's world by the way you're speaking. She goes, what do you mean? I'm not trying to get myself involved. And I said, you just finished talking him up like he rules the prisons. Okay, you know, if someone from prison heard you say that and they were with him, they'll turn around and friggin' clip him, hurt him just because of what you're saying. And she was like, oh yeah, I understand. Anyway, cut a long story short, she gets a knock at the door. Yeah, she copped the uppercut, and it was because of her boyfriend. Yeah, and then she's got the nerve to contact me and ask me to back her up. And I was like, what? So you want me to risk my freedom, you know, to risk not seeing my son that's about to be born, just because you didn't listen when I told you stop trying to get involved in the man's world? And I go, hey, you're not young. You know right from wrong, yeah? No, Bobby, it's not Jenny. Jenny's story's coming up. All this that I'm talking about will lead up to that. But this girl ended up finding out the hard way when she copped her uppercut. And now she's distressed. You know, she's worried about her family, and her man just got his head jumped on. And I don't know what happened. Like, at the end of the day, when you get yourself involved in criminal matters, there's always going to be bigger and stronger guys out there that's going to be targeting you because you're being a show pony. Whether you're driving around in a nice car or whether you're talking it up like this girl. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? Maybe the boyfriend did keep his mouth shut, but it was the girl that was talking it up so much. So these guys rocked up and clipped her. You know what I mean? And this is what I'm saying. I do not condone violence towards women, but yous are going to cop it from guys that won't take your rubbish. For example, there's many videos on YouTube that you will watch, and all these videos will show females who are drunk off their head walking up and hitting a man for no reason, and then the man turns around and unloads on them, and then everyone's like, that's a shit girl, you shouldn't have hit a woman, you shouldn't have had a woman. But from my perspective, I'm like, this guy is drunk, this girl is drunk, so they both don't know what they're doing. This female walked up and clocked this guy, and then this guy attacked her. You know what I mean? I don't condone violence towards women, but this is what I'm explaining to you women out there. Don't get involved in men's business. Stop trying to be heroes like you have an iron fist like a man. You know, if you love a man so much that you're willing to deal with his rubbish, yeah, then just love him. That's it. Stand by him. Be loyal by him. If he F's you over, kick him to the curb. You know what I'm saying? Kick him to the curb? Because there's plenty of fish in the sea, mate. Yeah? But there's no need for you to go and put your chest out and act like a gangbanger just because your man right there in that time is looking like he's the Don of the hood. Yeah? Like, it's as simple as that. Let it go. Stop trying to be a hero, and then when you get clipped, you're the first one to call the cops and start crying wolf. You know what I mean? There's several of these stuff that's on YouTube that I've watched and researched. I don't want to get too much into it. The only reason why I'm bringing this up is because a lot of you young females who are growing up now, I'm seeing all of you fighting each other at school, one-on-ones, you know, groups of girls jumping one girl. Like, seriously, girls. Like, if you want a good man in your life, yeah, then act like a lady. Eh? Like, the best kind of woman is someone that is a lady on the streets, and for her man, a freak under the sheets. You know what I mean? That's what I'm gonna say to you guys. Stop trying to be heroes. Stop trying to get involved in other people's in men's business. You know, stop trying to be involved in the men's world, because you are gonna cop it from someone that doesn't give a F whether you're a woman or not. You know, I've grown up with all the gangbangers, yeah, and a lot of gangbangers, majority of them will not touch a female, but you're always gonna catch one or two that don't give a F who you are. And that's what I'm saying. You know, be careful the way you carry yourself. To all you young females out there who are thinking you are gangsters or thinking you are heroes and running around having one-on-ones at high school or jumping little girls at the bus stops and stuff, enough is enough. Seriously, girls, you know, if you want to be somebody when you grow up, then be a lady, yeah? That's how you're going to find a good man, when you be a lady, not when you go out and have one-on-ones on the street and when you jump at the girls. You know, what, you want your freaking face on TikTok or on YouTube for beating up someone or for jumping someone. The only thing you're going to get when you put your face on YouTube or on TikTok beating up someone else, the only thing you're going to get out of that is a criminal record. Richie, appreciate you. That's all you're going to get is a criminal record, you know? And I don't know about you guys out there, but I'm the type of person, I don't like watching females fight. Yeah, when I see UFC fighters, or when I see boxers, females, I don't like it. Yeah, I won't watch it, because to me, females should just be themselves. I like watching females who play footy. Like, yeah, the girls are strong. Yeah, 100%. I go to the gym, guys, yeah, and at the gym, females are outdoing me in like chin-ups, outdoing me in dips, outdoing me in like bicep curls and stuff. And that's why I know I'm not trying to belittle women. There are strong-willed women out there who can do things exactly the same as men. All I'm saying is, when it comes to this rubbish world, criminal stuff and all that other stuff, or when it comes to this rubbish stuff like alcohol, drugs and all that, that's when I know that females pop out and start trying to get involved in the man's world. You know, you want to get yourself into that world, you are gonna get hurt. I'm not gonna get into the things that I've seen. Man, I appreciate you. The things that have happened in the past that have come on the news where women have been unalived. And you know, it's not something that I want to speak about, because it's not a good thing, you know, to see women battered up. You know, like a lot of single mums out there have been through domestic violence, yeah. And this is the thing: the women who have been through domestic violence never ever harmed their husband, never ever talked down to their husband. But their husband has got alcohol problems, drug problems, this, that, you know. These are the women who don't deserve to be touched. These are the women who work their ass off to make sure that they have a good life with their husband and with their children. Yet the domestic violence side of things is what ruins it, you know, because the husband can't handle the fact that the wife is the breadwinner, can't handle the fact that other men are looking at his missus. You know what I mean? So there are very good women in this world that I support wholeheartedly, you know, especially the single mums out there, because my mum was in a situation where she had to take control of both the mother and father roles, and she did it to the best of her ability, even though she couldn't even put milk and bread on the table. But we always had 3 meals a day. No matter how broke we were at the time, my mom always managed to put 3 meals on the table every single day, you know. And us kids, we learned that we weren't able to have recess and lunch because the lunch that we had would only last us lunchtime, you know what I mean? Anyway, moving along from there, I'm gonna talk about females who talk a lot of rubbish. All right. One of the main things that I'm gonna highlight is females that everybody knows that females talk too much, yeah. But I'm not talking about the gossiping side of things. This is natural. Men gossip, you know. For those of you who haven't heard me say this before, yeah, I've been in Supermax. Supermax in New South Wales is the most inhumane prison in Australia, all right? And I've always said this when people ask me, oh, what was Supermax like? Obviously, there's maximum security, medium security, and minimum security, yeah? I was in Supermax, yeah? That's the highest prison that you can go to. And every time someone asked me, and I was like, man, Supermax was rubbish. They're like, oh, what do you mean? I thought like it was all the heavy hitters, the gangsters, the terrorists. I thought they were all in there. Okay, yeah, they were all in there. And I said, but Supermax, to me, is like a bunch of women, like on the Housewives. And they were like, what? What do you mean? I go, you know what I nicknamed Supermax? And they're like, what? I go, the Housewives of Supermax. Because when you're inside Supermax, everyone in there is so bored because they're doing so long that all they do is friggin' gossip, yeah? Just talk shit about each other every single day, bro. It is so annoying. I swear, I sat there and I had one side of the Muslim boys dragging me this side, talking crap about that side of the Muslims. Then when I go over here, these Muslim boys were talking crap about these Muslim boys, and I didn't know what to do. So I just hung out with a close brother of mine named Salim Taba, and I just stuck with him, you know, because there was so much gossiping going on in there. And for all of you who've seen these videos on YouTube where there's abbing stays and then there's Erdemays outside here, a lot of this stuff stemmed from inside prison. A lot of these dramas stemmed from inside Supermax, yeah? But guess what it all started over? Gossiping, talking rubbish. I swear to you, I've seen things happen with my own eyes, and then I've had the next guy next to me tell me a different story. I'm like, bro, I was there. And even though I said I was there, he was like, no, wallah, this is what happened. And I'm like, bro, isn't that your Muslim brother? And he was like, yeah. And I said, then why are you not hearing him out? And I said, bro, if he's your Muslim brother, let him talk. Let him explain the situation and what happened. You know, you're on this side of Supermax. You're so bored that you're talking rubbish about him and you're not even asking him his situation. Z, appreciate you, love you. You know what I mean? And I said, I'm stuck in the middle. I'm getting dragged right. I'm getting dragged to the left. And I don't even want to be a part of this, you know? So I just stuck with Salim because my close brother Salim Taba, he's very quiet. He doesn't get involved in any of the politics. But if anyone F's with his Muslim brothers, he's the first to dive in and attack, yeah? And this is why I call that place the Housewives of Supermax, because all they do in there is just talk rubbish, and then it floods out to the main, and then it floods out to the street, Nina. And then that's when all the wars start happening. And then everyone's thinking, oh, these wars are over this and that. And nobody even realized it all started over rubbish talk from inside prison. Now, all of you who heard me talking about these two-faced lawyer dogs and that were passing on messages and starting wars, Nina, I appreciate you. These lawyers were talking so much shit, yeah, because you got this group here who are represented from this lawyer. So they'll start telling this lawyer all these rubbish about things that's going on. What does this lawyer do? She goes to lunch with all her lawyer friends and starts telling her lawyer friends what happened, yeah? And then her lawyer friends are clients with the enemies or the opposition. So she goes and she starts explaining the story to the opposition. And then the opposition yell out to the other side and say, hey, why were you talking shit to your lawyer about this, that? The other guy says, what are you talking about? I didn't say it like that. This is what was happening inside Supermax, yeah? And these friggin' lawyers, not only lawyers too, don't get me wrong, it wasn't just lawyers, it was also screws that were passing on messages and starting dramas inside prison, and also police officers who were, aligned with certain gang members that I have met. Yes, there is a lot of corruption within the police force. That's none of my business. All I can say is the messages that were being passed around, Nina, I love you, appreciate you, weren't just from lawyers. They were also from prison officers and from police officers. Now, one of the stories that I want to tell, which I didn't really want to tell, I need to explain this story here because it goes with everything that I'm speaking about. I really don't want to talk about it, but I'm gonna freaking tell it. Before I tell this story, for all of you guys that are watching me right now, I need you guys to share the live. I need you guys to tap up the likes, and I also need you guys to do that heart me thing. Oh wow, I pulled 50 heart me's, I've already got 48. Yeah, the team Triggz. 186,000 likes. Yeah, the team Triggz. I love yous and I appreciate yous. Now, let's get on to the next story. This has got to do with females. Oh, love you, appreciate you guys. With females that go and spread rumors, yeah? Now, for all of you people who don't understand the underworld because you obviously live a legitimate life, a lot of these hits in the underworld, when I'm talking about these things, yeah? A lot of the hits that happen in the underworld, females were the ones that helped orchestrate these hits, all right? Whether it was flirting with a guy to get information, whether it was going to the gym to follow the guy so that other gang can go and put, what's it called? Tracker underneath the car so they can find out where it is. This is why I keep telling you females and all you younger females that's growing up now, be careful of the man. Yes, you're trying to get yourself involved in the man's world, but the man is the most manipulating person on this earth. I know this is because when I was doing what I was doing, I never tried to manipulate any females, yeah? All I did was I made sure that the females that worked for me knew I was paying them for a job, and once the job was done, you go your way, I'll go my way. And the respect was always left at that, you know? But these females who get themselves involved in the man's world, whether it's legit or whether it's not, yeah, their mouth is the reason why a lot of relationships go down the toilet, and their mouth is the reason why a lot of these hits are happening in the underworld, all right? There was a girl who got blamed for Bill Hemsley's murder in the city. For those of you who don't know it, for those of you around the world who are watching it right now, in the city of Sydney, it's very, very busy, yes, especially at nighttime. And there's a guy named Bill Hemsley who was walking along with a girl, and then guys drove up and just started shooting. And when Bill got unalived, everyone started blaming this girl. She was the one that set it up. No one ever knew where Bill was. No one ever knew, could track Bill down. So she's the one who set it up. Look, this girl has been on the record to say that she had nothing to do with her. I'm not going to get too much into it because I don't really know much about that situation. But all I'm going to say is this, yeah? A lot of things that happen like that, it only got done properly because the females were the ones that were doing the footwork. Now, I'm explaining this to you guys because to all you men out there, yeah? I know you're smart. I know you think you're a gangster, but get it through your head, guys, yeah? I'm raising awareness, you know, because awareness is safety. I always told you that. Now, if you're not aware about the females in your circle, then make sure you keep your distance. If you're not aware of the female that's trying to pick you up at the club, trying to chat you up and tell you, let's go to your house, right? Then try to keep your distance. Because I'm telling you right now, when they're asking you to go to your house, you know, and you're involved in the criminal world, they could be setting you up, all right? A lot of the things that I did growing up as a kid, females we used were the ones that went and flirted with certain drug dealers so we could take the drug dealers' money. That's how it worked when we were growing up as kids. We'll get the girl to go and flirt with the guy. the guy would give up his position, and then we would go and stand over him for his money that he was making from selling drugs. We never sold drugs as kids. We never got involved in that game, yeah? So our thing was, if you want to be a gangster, we'll take your money. You want to be a drug dealer, we'll take your money. You know, if you want to go and be heroes in our area, we're going to take your money. That's how we were. It's as simple as that. And it was females that we used in order to freaking gain this wealth as kids, at 16 years old. Now, this is why I'm raising awareness about this stuff, is so all you guys understand that you have to be careful, but also to all you females, I'm also raising awareness so you females understand that a lot of these guys that are involved in this criminal life are very, very manipulating. You know, they will tell you they love you. You know, they will tell you they're going to marry you, and they only do this so that you can go and do their bidding, so that you can go and do their dirty work. And worst of all is a lot of girls that I've met who have spoken to me about this thing, is the girls that take the blame for what the guys did. Now, a big example is in the last 5 years, a lot of females have been getting caught with firearms. Why the hell would a female want a firearm? Why in the hell would a female want to carry a firearm around? Why in the hell would a female even have a firearm inside their car? Guess what? They wouldn't. But their man was there, yeah? And if one person puts up their hand and says it was them, then that's the person who it gets blamed on. And this is what happened. So many females in the last 5 years have gone to prison because they were caught with firearms, but it wasn't even their firearms. They were so loyal to their man that they ended up taking the blame for what the man had put inside their car, for what the man had in their house. All right, and this is what you females have to come to terms with. Yeah, when your man is locked up and you're visiting him every week on the week, switch it around and have a think about it. When you're locked up, is your man going to visit you every week? Is your man going to be loyal to you? You know, is your man going to go see your family and look after them? I don't know. That's on you. You know, it's a question that you have to ask yourself. All I'm doing is raising awareness so that you may be safe. Not only the females, but also the males, you know, but especially the younger generation who are growing up now. Be aware. Everything that I'm saying is to help you guys be aware, you know, because when you're aware of these situations, then you are going to be safe. You will be able to pass this information on to your siblings. You'll be able to pass these messages on to your younger nephews and nieces so that they may be able to understand these situations, you know, and they would be able to feel safe by calling you when they're in this situation. A lot of kids these days, you know, they feel like they don't want to speak to adults. So when they're in certain situations where men are putting it on them, they feel like, oh, I can handle it. I can handle it. I love him so much. I don't want to call my parents, or I don't want to call my sister and tell him because I love him so much. And 110% he's going to be loyal to me, I think. Look, that's the younger generation for us, all right? But if you are explaining to them what I'm explaining to you guys, you're going to build trust with them, yeah? And when you guys build trust with them, that's when they're going to feel like, you know what? My man, everything he's doing is everything my auntie was saying, or is everything my uncle was saying. Stuff this, I'm going to call my uncle, or I'm going to call my auntie. You know, they'll start trusting you enough to call you. You know, I'm not going to talk too much on this generation. This generation now, it's a very ugly generation, you know, not because of them themselves, but because of technology. And all of you guys know the era of technology has brought things like porn, easy access, has brought things like domestic violence, easy access to it. You know, like I was watching this show where kids were talking about the way they would treat a woman because of that Andrew Tate, yeah? And I listened to a few of Andrew Tate's stuff just because I didn't know who the hell he was. I just kept hearing his name while I was in prison. I got out and I listened to a few of his things. And look, this is my take on it. Andrew Tate, he talks about a man being a man and being able to, take control of relationships and situations, yeah? My thing with Andrew Tate is, if I could uppercut him, I would, because if he ever treated my sister or my nieces the way he speaks about women, it'll be a different story. You know what I mean? Because one thing is to be a man, but the other thing is putting women, you know, in that category where they're nothing but shit. All right. Look, I'm no angel, but at the end of the day, I can honestly say I've never uppercut a woman. You know what I mean? You take a look at the mirror when you're sitting there right now, going off at me, because for all of yous out there right now, I'm gonna explain something to you. I spoke on my live a couple of weeks ago about something similar to this situation, and guess what happened? I got a lot of hate, and all the hate came from men. You know, they all went and created fake pages, and I swear I remember counting it. There was about 29 messages that I got after my live and when I woke up, and all these messages were saying, "You fucking snitch! I can't believe you went and told on live stuff that we do to females." And goes like, "Who the hell do you think you are? Like, our relationships is our relationships. Our business is our business. You know, like, you keep men's stuff in-house." This is what they were saying to me. They were dirty that I had outed the way men use women. And I was like, but if you have a sister or if you have a girl cousin that you're close to, you seriously wouldn't tell them that this is the way men are? Like, this is the way I was replying to them, And then they just kept saying, "F you, you're a snitch. F you, you're a snitch." They weren't calling me a snitch because I was dogging anyone in and for a crime. They were calling me a snitch for outing the way men treat women while in prison. Remember when I was talking to you guys about that live and I said to you how men use women from inside prison, and as soon as they get out, the first thing they do is cheat, or the first thing they do is beat the women up, domestic violence charges? This is what all these men were dirty about. They were dirty that I outed this. And I was like, seriously, I had 29 messages. All right, 1, 2, 3, or maybe even 4 messages hating on that subject. But 29? Are you guys serious? Is that how much you hate the fact that I exposed what men do while inside prison? Like, mate, I'm raising awareness. If you got an issue with it, then it is what it is with Triggz, you know? I'll give you a situation that happened. There was a Tongan guy at Bathurst, This Tongan guy, he has a wife and kids. Now, I'm not going to say his name, obviously, but he was having visits with his wife and his kids, and then he would make an excuse to say he was sick. And this is because he wanted another girl to come visit him, So he would have 2 visits with his wife and kids in a row. And then he'll say, "Oh, you know, my stomach's sore. Don't come down this weekend. Come down this week." And Bathurst is like an hour and a half drive, So the missus was thinking, "Oh yeah, he's sick. Then she started getting suspicious because after every 2 weeks of straight visits, on the 3rd week, he's always saying, "Oh, my stomach don't come down. You know, like, I don't want visits this week." And then when she got there, that's when she asked the question at Bathurst. She asked the female officer, "Excuse me, is anyone else visiting my husband but me?" She looked it up and then she said, "Oh, I can't tell you this information, but let me go and call Intel." For those of you who don't know what Intel is, Intel inside prison is like the ones that keep what's called all the information that they need to know. So every prison can be able to handle you, whether it's you being a drug dealer at a prison, or whether it's you being threatening, whether it's you being high profile, whatever it is. The Correctional Center Intelligence, they're called Intel. That's a short name we give them. That's the person that this female officer was going to call. So she goes and calls Intel, and she tells Intel, "Hey, there's this female outside," and she asks this question, "What do you want me to say?" Intel looks it up, and then the Intel, he's a man who is also someone that was married, apparently, This is the story that got told to me, but then also I bumped into the Tongan guy that was cheating on his wife. So I'm not telling you stories that I wasn't in and amongst. I was in and amongst it because I bumped into the Tongan that was cheating on his missus. He told me the same story. All right. Now, this intel officer went and grabbed the Tongan girl and took her and her kids inside a private room. And she was thinking, oh, is my husband in trouble again? She gets in there and then Intel sits her down. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something. Intel is not allowed to do this, yeah? But for some reason, Intel, like, they start having a heart for visitors when they see things are going wrong. And I know this for a fact because when I was inside prison, I had, one sec guys, let me fix this puzzle. When I was inside prison, I had three females that were visiting me, yeah? And what I didn't realize until after is every time my wife would come and visit me, Intel was grabbing my wife and saying to her, hey, do you know this girl? Do you know this girl? Do you know this girl? And she was like, why? And they're like, because they visit your partner. And then my wife had to explain to her, oh yeah, it's all good. I'm the one that booked the visit for them. They needed to speak to my husband, like he does promo work and they work alongside him. One of them is his personal assistant and she also works for me. So this is what I mean. Intel are not allowed to say these types of things, yeah? But they did it to me. Intel grabbed my wife. And this Intel's name at Goulburn Correctional Center was Miss Canningizer, yeah? I actually get along with her, but I didn't realize behind my back, Miss Canningizer was grabbing my wife and telling her about all these girls that were visiting me. And like, I didn't care because my wife knew about it, you know? But this is the thing, Intel is not allowed to do this, yet they start growing a heart for visitors because they see what the visitors are going through, traveling 2 hours, traveling 6 hours. The furthest prison is 8 hours away. And when these females are traveling so far and these officers are seeing them being treated like shit at visit, or they're seeing these guys having multiple women visiting them, that's when these officers start growing a heart and they're like, you know what, F this, I don't care that that it's illegal for me to tell them, I'm just gonna tell them anyway, I don't give a damn, you know? So this is what happened to that Tongan guy who was cheating on his missus. Intel dragged them in at Bathurst, the wife and the 3 kids, sat her down and said, look, I'm really, really sorry to tell you this. And she goes, but I think I should just show you so you can see it for yourself. And she goes, show me what? Intel brings up the computer, types it in, and then when he logs in, he shows the video. And the video is of her husband having a visit with another girl and full kissing and getting with each other. And he's showing the wife and the 3 kids. Now, remember what I said to you guys. Intel is not allowed to do that, yeah? Yet this Intel had so much heart and love for this woman who was traveling every week, hour and a half to visit, yeah? That he decided, you know what? F my job. Who cares? I'm just going to show it. It is what it is. Right? As soon as this wife saw this footage, she cancelled her visit and she drove home. And all of you can all have deep look into yourselves and imagine what this woman was going through when she was driving home, you know, with her 3 kids. She would have been crying her eyes out and her 3 kids would have just kept asking, hey, why aren't we visiting dad? Mom, why are you crying? Why are you crying? Why aren't we visiting dad? We were supposed to go and see dad. Why are you crying, mom? Why are you crying? You know, and this mom who worked her ass off to make sure she kept the relationship, you know, tight, you know, to make sure that the relationship doesn't die out, to make sure that she was at visit every week on the week, you know, when she travels an hour and a half, this mom wouldn't even say anything to the kids because she doesn't want her kids to know that their dad is a piece of shit. And now those guys, those 29 guys who were messaging me and calling me a snitch and belittling me and going off at me, this is what they were not happy at. They were not happy at the fact that I was exposing what men do to women while they're inside prison. It is what it is. You know, when I messaged them back, I said to them, get on a video call and talk to me face to face. But obviously they didn't. You know what I mean? Now, before I move along, again, guys, if you want to show love and support for my page, I need you guys to tap up the likes. 242,000 likes already. I love your team, Triggz. It is what it is. Yeah? I also appreciate everyone that was sending through the heart me's. My love and respects to you all. And And to everyone that's sitting there and viewing my live right now, if you didn't catch what I said at the beginning of my live, I just found out from videos that were sent to me, construction site workers were putting my live on the big TV and watching me. Plumbers were doing the same thing. And even household families that sent me their videos of where they're watching my live on the big TV. But if you could do me a favor, if you have a mobile phone next to you, chuck my live on your mobile phone, because the more views that I get, if it's on the TV and on the mobile phone, like the better it is for the algorithm to catch it and push it out to the world. But yeah, for all of you who are watching it on the TV, that's a cracker, but I love you and I appreciate each and every one of you. Now, oh no, all right. Moving along, there's another female situation that I'm gonna hit before I start speaking about the Jenny situation, because I know everyone's been waiting for me to speak about Jenny El Hassan. Now, that situation is something that happened a couple of days ago, and I'll get to her right after I explain to you this story that I didn't want to out. The only reason why I'm saying this story is because it goes with what I'm providing you guys with tonight. All right, so there's a female, yeah. I'm not gonna say who she is, but obviously she was very, very upset at me, and she deemed me to be someone who should be taking care of her because of her loyalty to me while I was inside prison. Now, obviously, a lot of you guys know that I said my wife and I have been together since 2007. We were friends for that whole time, and I was inside prison for 10 years, for those of you who don't know, and then I was in prison for 7 years, and she stuck by me through thick and thin. But at the same time, during my whole 10 years, I used to tell my wife to go and live her life. She's young, she was beautiful, go out and experience the world, you know. And one of the truths is the fact that I didn't want to be inside prison and have a missus on the outside, because I've seen it firsthand when I see all the guys inside prison who do their head in, oh, what's my missus doing? You know, like, hang on, I gotta call my missus, Mate, what did you do last night? What do you mean you went out last night, you effing dog, bro? This is all the guys inside prison when they talk to their missus. What do you mean you went? Who told you could go out last night? You know, and then why didn't you ask me permission to go to your family wedding? This, that. This is all the stuff that I used to hear when I was inside prison. Men just like going on rampages when it comes to phone calls with their missus, because they couldn't handle it. They couldn't handle the fact that they were locked up and their missus was out there doing as she pleases. You know, it's a lot of females were cheating on their partners while their partners were inside, and I know that for a fact. Yeah. But at the same time, there was a lot of females who were very, very loyal to their partners. For example, my wife. All right. But this female that I'm talking about, like I explained to you guys, during my 10 years, I think I had about 9 females that did a lot of work for me, especially my personal assistant that pretty much everyone knows. And a lot of this work was promo work, because I used to run a lot of events. Yeah. I'm not going to get into that rubbish, but this is what I did. I was a promoter, so I ran a lot of events, and I brought artists from overseas here into Australia. Now, this female, one certain female, started getting what's called feeling entitled. You know, like because of certain things that she's done for me, she felt like she should be treated a certain way. You know, and obviously, we didn't feel the same way, so I made sure that we cut ties on good terms, yeah? And we cut ties on good terms, and obviously my wife knows each and every one of the girls that worked for me and did things for me, because a lot of them did things with me via my wife. But at the time, she wasn't my wife or my girlfriend, she was just my close friend that was sticking by me in prison. So my wife actually met a lot of these girls, actually every girl. She met every girl, all right? Cut a long story short, I get here, and I'm doing well outside here. It's the last 6 months I've been inside, yeah? I've been out now for about 6.5 months. And then all of a sudden, I get a message that this female has told people that I cried when she walked away from me. You know? And I was like, what? It's like, yeah, she said that when she walked away from you, you cried. And I was like, where? And then they told me that she goes, she used to tell me what to do. So apparently she wore the pants in our relationship, you know, our working relationship. She would be the one that to tell me how things go and how things work. And I was like, whoa. Anyway, my wife, like she turned to me and she, when this rumor came out, and she was like, did you seriously cry for a girl? And I was like, what? Get out of here. And now it's a joke between me and my wife, where every time we're having a live, she's like, hey, at least I didn't cry for a girl. Okay, get out of here, bro. What do you mean? You know? And I swear, I've never ever hit a female in my life. And this girl said, yeah, one day he got angry and he king hit me. And I was like, oh my gosh. I go, what the hell? I go, seriously. And then my wife is like, look, I've spoken directly with her. And I go, what do you mean you spoke directly with her? She goes, well, when the rumor came out, I called her and I spoke to her directly. I said, what'd you say? She goes, I asked her if it was true. And I go, and what did she say? She said, yeah, it's true. I said, what the fuck? Okay, she said it was true. And my wife goes, yeah, she said it was true. And my wife goes, but Pete, I've been with you so long, yeah, that I know you inside out. So when she said that you king hit her, I said to her, look, I could maybe believe the two things that you said at the beginning, but when you're saying that Peter can hit you, she goes, I don't believe that. And she was like, what do you mean you don't believe that? And she goes, well, have you ever had a broken jaw? And she was like, no. And she goes, and you're telling me Peter hit you? And she was like, yeah. And she was like, well, I don't believe it, because I've seen Pete like at the top, at the peak of his violence, you know, like, and he's never ever touched a female in that way, you know, no matter how angry he was. And she just kept going and going. And mind you, this was 6 months ago. Like this situation is all done and dusted. Like she kept her mouth shut. But my point is, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this is the type of females that you're going to find out there. The ones that talk a lot of rubbish, yeah? Because they're so upset, so jealous, so envious, you know, of what you've become or what you have, or for the fact that you've left them behind, that they will go and start spreading rumors, you know? And this rumor of me crying, I was so dirty for about 2 weeks. I was saying to my wife, I swear to you, I've never hit a female in my life, but I promise you, if I ever bump into her, I'm gonna freaking uppercut her. And obviously it was just me, like full dirty, you know, as hell, but far out, man. I was like fuming on the inside. I was fuming, even though I like laughed it off, like to my wife. I was so upset. Like I was like, bro, I will literally rearrange this girl's jaw, you know, like the rubbish that came out of her mouth. I don't know if she was drunk or not, and I know for a fact that when she's drunk, she talks a lot of rubbish. And I did speak to a few of her friends, and all her friends told me the same thing. You know her, she's always like that. Like she just talks rubbish. And I said, no, I don't know her to be that type of person. I go, I know her to be bad when she's drunk, but I actually don't know her to be someone that will talk like this about someone else. And then those girls started explaining to me, you should have seen what she did to her ex. I go, what do you mean? She told everyone that her Tongan ex cried over her. And I said, what? Yeah, and apparently her Tongan ex is a Tongan guy is a Tongan guy from Penrith way named Daniel. I think Daniel. Is Daniel name, babe? Daniel? Yeah. So I think his name is Daniel. Tongan guy named Daniel. Like he dated her, and then he kicked her to the curb because he's got a wife and kids. Yeah, and then apparently. She went and said the same thing about him. She said to everyone, yeah, I left him and he cried over me. He cried so much over me that he came to my door, got on his knees, and he begged for me to come back. And I was like, whoa. I go, all right, there we go, you know, like here's some evidence that this is what she does when she's upset. This is what she does when she's jealous and envious. She makes up stories, you know, and I never had any ill will towards this girl. Like I actually just she was a part of my team, so I was helping her with a lot of things, but she didn't care about the help that I gave her in the past. She just felt the need to spread this rumor when she saw me doing well, and spread this rumor when she saw me get married. She felt like when she was in that circle of females, and all the females that were around her, a few of them knew me, and one of them knew my wife, and they came and told us that that's what she said. And she was apparently, she had a drink in her hand, so I don't know if she was drunk or not, but that's actually what she said to a whole heap of girls. And then all these girls were like just shocked. They were like, nah, I can't see Triggz hitting you. And she was like, yeah, I swear to you, he hit me. He king hit me. Yeah, and he full cried. And the girls were confused because they're like, that's not Triggz. He doesn't cry. Like, let me tell you something. I love my grandfather, my grandpa, and my mom's sister very much. These three people are people that were very, very close to my heart. While I was in prison, I lost my grandmother, I lost my grandfather, and I lost my mom's sister, who was considered my godmother, yeah? And guess what, guys? I never shed a tear. I sat in my cell and I cursed at myself in the mirror for not being outside when these special people in my life passed away. You know, so to have a girl like this make claims that I cried over her when I didn't even cry over the three people that I care for most in this world besides my parents at the time, you know, it was beyond me. Like, it was freaking ugly to hear this, you know. And now I just got my missus killing my life. Every time I be a smart ass at her, she always brings up, at least I didn't cry over a girl. But yeah, so to all you females out there, please understand this and get it through your thick friggin' head, yeah? There is plenty of fish in the sea. Stop getting all your knickers twisted up when a man is willing to leave you for another woman. F him. Find another man. There's freaking men all over the world who will praise you and treat you like the queen you are. Kick them to the curb, mate. Who gives a F? Man, I've said this from for many, many years, yeah? I don't give a damn if a girl walks away from me if we were in a relationship. Because at the end of the day, I know that I'm treating them the right way, yeah? And if they want to walk away with me, get it, bro. I'll go freaking and find someone else. It is what it is. I don't care. Like, because I'm not the jealous type, you know. I will love you wholeheartedly, but if you F me over, I'm not gonna come with an uppercut. I'm gonna just say, see you later. You know what I mean? And my wife has said the same thing to me. She goes, I will cry over you if we parted ways. And she goes, but if you told me that you wanted to leave me, she goes, I will just let you walk away. That's what she said to me. I don't know if she learned that off me, but this is the strong-willed woman that my wife is. She told me straight. You know, if ever one day you were over our relationship and you wanted to walk away, she goes, I won't stop you. She goes, there's the door. You know what I mean? And that's the exact same way I was before I met my wife. I didn't care if girls were so up themselves that they wanted to, part ways with me if we were like having a little relationship. Hey, who gives a F? Mate, go. Take a walk, mate. I mean, I'll go over to Barcelona and find a hotter girl than you, you know? There's so many freaking beautiful women in this world. There's so many handsome men in this world. Mate, if your partner is treating you like Itche, F them off. I don't care if it's a woman or a man. If your partner is treating you like Itche, F them off and go find a better partner. It's as simple as that. All right. Now, let's get on to Jenny El Hassan. All right. Like I said to you guys, everyone's been waiting for this story all night. And there's a big reason why I'm bringing this up. It's not to hurt her reputation. It's pretty much just to highlight things to all you women out there, you know, that There's a lot of things that you females out there know. You are very, very smart. You are the reason this world goes round. Not because of men. You guys are the reason this world goes round. Without women in this world, there'll be no world. Yeah. But there is a lot of mistakes that you guys make, and one of the mistakes is trying to be a part of the man's world when it comes to the way you speak and the way you carry yourself. All right. Yeah, please, can you turn it on if you don't mind? Before I move on to Jenny's story, come on, guys, let's double tap up these likes. We're on 285,000 likes. It is what it is with Triggz. I love yous and I appreciate you guys. And to everyone that's been sending through gifts and everyone that stayed on to view, I'm sending you guys my love and respects. All right. Who's this? Queen. I appreciate you. Love and respects. Now, moving on to Jenny. All right. This is how it works when it comes to me, yeah? Queen, appreciate you. Every 2-3 days, I pick 10 people that I want to give big gifts to, all right? And usually the person that gives those 10 gifts is either my wife or my personal assistant. I only get on this gift thing when I have time, but I'm busy 24/7. So every 2-3 days, I'll give a list to my wife, and then she'll figure out whether she has time to gift them, or whether she's going to get our personal assistant to gift them. Now, yeah, that's perfect, babe. Thank you very much. Now, what happened is, I think it was a couple of days ago. All right? Yeah, I think it was last week. Babe, was it last Friday or Saturday? Friday. Yeah, I think it was Friday last week. So what happened was my personal assistant had taken over because my wife was feeling sick. Obviously, for those of you who don't know, she's pregnant and she was feeling a bit ill. Now, Jenny has already got a name, not only on TikTok, but she's got a very big name. She's got a very big following as well. She's got a lot of followers and a lot of people that watch her. It's not because of her looks. It's because she's entertaining. Like, I've watched her twice, and I thought she was entertaining as well. And when I was battling with the Islander boys, they brought her on. I didn't know who Jenny was. I didn't know nothing about her. But when she came on, obviously I was respectful because she was a female. I said hello. And then I realized when we were battling, like everyone was like having their banter with each other. But remember, I don't know these people from a bar of soap that I'm battling, but the Samoan boys, they're the ones that I wanted to hang out with on TikTok. So when they add me, straight away I accept it, and then we have a laugh and then we have a battle. But the Samoan boys decided to bring Jenny into our boxes so we could all battle together. Now, I beat all of them, and when I was smashing them, obviously I got so much love and support from my followers and supporters that everyone was gifting me hard out that night. And I beat Jenny and these Samoan boys, yeah? I'm pretty sure there was Jenny and these Samoan boys. And during the battle, Jenny kept saying, because I was saying, it was during my birthday. So I kept saying 12 hours live, guys, 12-hour lives. And then I noticed that she started trying to mock me by saying, maybe I should say 12-hour live, 12-hour live. Maybe I should say 12-hour live. But I didn't realize it until people in my chat were saying, is Jenny trying to mock you? And I was like, huh? I didn't get what was going on. So I unmuted her so I could hear what she was saying. And then she was trying to imitate what I was saying, yeah? And then I looked straight at her in the camera and I said, hey, Jenny, are you getting something out of that? And she's like, what? And I go, are you getting something out of what you're saying? And then she kind of realized that I was upset at her trying to imitate me, yeah? And then she shut her mouth straight away and the battle continued. I ended up beating them, and then I sent my respects to her. I said, thank you very much. And I said, thank you to the boys, and we left at that. Didn't think nothing of it. But my respect that I showed that night is I went and I followed them, and I'm pretty sure I followed Jenny, and then she followed back, that was just out of respect because the Samoan boys were the ones that introduced me to her. Now, come last week, it came to that time, and I went through, and I was just skipping through the people that I was choosing, and then I was writing down names of the 10 people that I wanted my wife to gift that day, yeah? And out of these 10 people, one of them was Jenny, yeah? And I gave the list to my wife, and then I went to work. I was kicking back. But my wife was feeling ill. So what my wife did is she gave it to my personal assistant and told my personal assistant to do the gifting for that day. Now, she went on, she was gifting the 4th person. Everything went well. They were very grateful. They were shouting out Triggz. And they even went out of their way to come and like and comment on my posts. Yeah. And then my personal assistant went on Jenny's live. So Jenny was going live that day. I don't know what she was doing, but from what my personal assistant explained to me is that Jenny saw my name come up, and then she uttered a comment and she smirked, yeah? And then my personal assistant, who is a female, said to her, oh, sorry, what did you say about Triggz? But wrote it like in the comment section. And my personal assistant thought she couldn't see it because she had a lot of people watching her that day. So my personal assistant started like spamming and saying, what did you say about Triggz? What did you say about Triggz? What did you say about Triggz? Like that. And then my personal assistant started getting feeling like, hang on a sec, did she say something bad about Triggz, or was she just saying hello and I didn't catch it? So my personal assistant put up a message. He goes, did anybody hear what she said about Triggz? Did everybody hear what she said about Triggz? Did anybody hear what she... And she was spamming it. And some people messaged through and said, nah, we didn't hear what she said. And then she goes, if anybody is clipping this video, I'll give you $500 if you send it through, because I just want to hear what Jenny says. And that was during Jenny's live, yeah? And Jenny could see all of this. So my personal assistant, she wasn't aware whether Jenny had muted her or not, because she kept looking at the messages when it was coming up, and she didn't react. And I said to her, did she mute you or anything? She goes, I don't think so. I think she was just ignoring my messages because I could see her swallowing. So she was doing that, yeah? So when she looked at the live, she would swallow, as in like she didn't want to talk, yeah? When my personal assistant was asking these questions and spamming it. So what my personal assistant did was my personal assistant went to her messages and then messaged her directly and just said, hey, I was on your live. What did you say about Triggz? And she goes, I'm just asking. And then, and Jenny wrote back and goes, what's your fucking problem? If you can't deal with banter, then get the F out of here. And my personal assistant goes, what? I was just asking you a question. And she said, get the F out of here. She goes, all I said was, Triggz has got more stories than Disney World or something. She said something like that. Triggz has got more stories than Disney World. And then she smirked about it. So she was mocking me when she said it on her live, yeah? But my personal assistant didn't hear it, all right? And when my personal assistant messaged her privately, she got offended and she started like going off at my personal assistant. And my personal assistant was actually trying to be professional and saying, I was just asking a question. I didn't hear what you said. And then Jenny said, this is what I said. If you got a problem with it, then get out of here. And then she goes, you spinner. But Jenny was thinking she was talking to me. So she was calling me a spinner. And then my personal assistant wrote back to her and goes, I'm Triggz' personal assistant. I was just asking you a question. Are you seriously calling Triggz a spinner? And then she wrote back and she goes, no, I'm not calling him a spinner. I was just having banter, like F off. Who do you think you are? If you can't deal with it, get out of here. And then my personal assistant wrote back to her and said to her, oh, all good. I'll let Triggz know what you said. And then she replied, tell him what you said. Tell him what I said. I don't give a damn. she goes, I don't give a damn what if you tell him what I said, tell him. And then she sent through an emoji, and it was an emoji of like the muscle man arm. She sent through that emoji, yeah. And my personal assistant, she's very kind-hearted, yeah. And she was like, "What the hell?" And then she wrote back to her, and she goes, "All right, tough girl. Like, I'll let him know." And as soon as she wrote, "All right, tough girl," during that conversation, Jenny goes, "I'm just drunk." Like, as soon as she realized that my personal assistant was gonna tell me what she blurted out, she wrote, "I'm just drunk and I'm just trying to have bloody fun." So she made an excuse on why she said what she said, yeah? Now, I don't have anything against Jenny. Like I said to you, she tried to have banter with me the first day, and I cut her short because I don't have banter with people I don't know. Yeah, have a laugh. I'm happy to have a laugh, yeah? But don't try to mock me when you don't know me, you know? And when she said what she said, she smirked, like, because she had about 300 people watching her at the time, yeah? And as soon as my personal assistant messaged her and said to her, "Oh, all good, I'll pass on the message," she sent through her muscle arm, and then my personal assistant said, "Okay, tough girl, no worries." And as soon as that happened, Jenny shut down her whole page, and like all she seen was like the whole page like get deactivated, and she couldn't even like get into her page yet. So what my personal assistant did is she screenshotted her whole conversation with Jenny, so if this ever was to come out, Jenny could not lie about it, because remember, my personal assistant wasn't trying to attack her. She was just trying to ask her a question. What did you say? Did you say something that you wanted, a message that you wanted Triggz to know? Or were you trying to belittle him? That's all my personal assistant was trying to find out, yeah? And then she just went on a rampage. Now, for those of you around the world that don't know Jenny, yeah? She is the girl that got acid thrown at her face in the city, all right? Now, she's so lucky that she was wearing those glasses that night. Now, I was in prison, yeah, when gangs were talking about attacking her. Now, remember, I don't know her from a bar of soap. And this is what I keep explaining to you females. Your mouth keeps getting you in trouble, you know? You're going to bump into people like me who won't react. You'll bump into people like me who are gentlemen and will just walk away. But then you're going to bump into guys who just don't give a F. They don't care if you're female. You know, you want to run your mouth, they're going to run their violent side over you. And that's just facts, you know what I mean? So Jenny was talking shit about A Huncho, the rapper, you know? Obviously, he's connected to the Alameddines. And then Jenny was also talking shit about other people that she thought were nobodies. She didn't realize that these guys were connected to underworld figures. And then what happened? Jenny's dawdling around the city thinking that she's all good and she's having a laugh with her followers. And like I told you guys, I've watched her. She is actually very entertaining, yeah? And she's there having a laugh with her followers, and she was live at the time when guys rocked up, jumped out of the car, and threw acid at her, yeah? And they threw it straight at her face. Lucky for Jenny, she was wearing glasses at the time, because I'm telling you, she would have been blinded. Now, Jenny doesn't know this, yeah? But I'm going to explain it to Jenny very, very thoroughly. You see these underworld figures that came and attacked you, it's very, very easy for them to end you, yeah? But you know when acid is thrown at you, it's their way of making a statement. So when they threw that, they were hoping that you were gonna go blind, yeah? Lucky for you, God blessed you that day, you know? For some reason, you were wearing glasses that day, you know? And God blessed you because these guys didn't get the job done, all right? But you went into hiding after that happened, and the guys that did what they did, obviously they let it go because they feel like, you know, you got what you got, and you sent your apologies to everyone, you know, and you learned where everyone thought that you learned your lesson, but obviously you didn't learn your lesson, you know, because you're still mouthing off at people. I've seen you going on a rampage when you speak on your battles and on your lives. And yeah, banter is with those that you know, and banter is with those that that you're in the same world with. For example, other people that you battle with. But when you don't know someone, don't belittle them. It's as simple as that. Yeah. This thing here, I squashed it the day I saw the messages. So there was there's no need for you to think that that anybody's coming after you, or there's no need for you to think that anybody's gonna be doing the same thing that happened to you before. But you just need to understand, yeah, when acid is involved, it's a statement. They don't want you to lose your life because that's easy, yeah. They want to make sure that when you look in the mirror, you know that you effed with the wrong people. Now this is why I'm saying this to you. I'm not saying this to you to belittle you in front of everyone, yeah. I'm just telling you facts. And I'm telling you this so every other female that's watching right now can understand this, yeah? When acid is thrown, it's to make a statement, and that statement had to be an impact. Now, the impact didn't hit its mark that day, but everyone thought you learned your lesson, yeah? Yet, it seems like, to me, it seemed like you didn't learn your lesson when I read these messages. But when I saw that you wrote you were drunk and you're just trying to have fun, it makes sense that if you're drunk, you're just going to talk shit because that's what you're good at. You get online and you just talk rubbish to people, and everybody finds that entertaining. And that's the reason why you've got the following that you're following, that you've got the following that you have. It's because everyone finds you very entertaining. Now stick to that. Stick to being entertaining and have a laugh with the people that you associate with. And yeah, I'm happy to have a laugh with you, but don't belittle people that you don't know, especially if you don't know their background and you don't know nothing about them. If you had said that to me when I was about to gift you, I would have just let it go. I never would have messaged. I never would have done what my personal assistant did. Like, I know that she was messaging and bombarding you, but the reason why she was doing that is because she wanted to know whether you wanted to pass a message on to me or whether you were belittling me. That's the reason why she started spamming. And then when she went to you privately, then you started like going off at her like you were Don Galeon, the gangster mafia girl that is untouchable. Now remember, you've been touched. So obviously everybody knows you're not untouchable, and I'm not throwing any threats your way, nothing like that. Like I said, I squashed it the day I saw the messages. All you need to understand, yeah, is that what happened to you that day could have been 10 times worse. Learn from that mistake, because I'm telling you, there's people that are 10 times worse than those people that came and attacked you that day. And when they came and made to make a statement. Obviously, it didn't land its mark, but you felt the wrath. Yes, I know for a fact, because all the witnesses that were there were saying that you were screaming so loud that you needed water, and you needed mouth to mouth. Like, you don't need mouth to mouth when you're when you got acid all over you. You know what I mean? All you need was water, a bit of water, and the doctor. You know what I mean? But you were going off so much that you started saying you need mouth to mouth that day. But this is what I'm saying. You should have learned from that mistake back then. Yet it seems like you were drunk, and yes, my personal assistant did explain to me that you were trying to have fun with your followers. But yeah, just be aware. Awareness is safety, and this is why I'm explaining it to you thoroughly, Jenny. I didn't call you because I don't have your number. I didn't message you because you freaking blocked the hell out of me, I think, or if you didn't block me, I don't know, something happened, because I've got the screenshots here that as soon as you said what you said and the timer is there, you shut down and deactivated your whole page for 2 days. You know what I mean? And so that's why I thought, you know what, I'm gonna bring up this live, and I'm gonna say it how it is. I really like your freaking content. So, but just get it through your head. Don't try to have a laugh with me. Don't try to have banter with me if you don't know who I am. When you get to know me, then you'll understand that you have to tippy toe around me. Because I don't take things very lightly. All right, that's it for young Jenny. I'm not gonna get too much more into it, because God willing, Jenny learns from this mistake that she made a couple of days ago. And like she said, she was just drunk and she was just trying to have fun. So it's understandable. It's not just women that stuff up when they're drunk and trying to have fun. It's also men. They talk a lot of shit as well when they're drunk and trying to have fun, you know? And yeah, a lot of people that heard me talking about the stuff with women a couple of days ago, they were the ones that were explaining to me, bro, TikTok is toxic. Like, Jenny's not the only one that does this type of stuff. It's all of them, you know. And trust me, I know. I've seen it with my own eyes, yeah? But that's why I'm here to explain it. And I'm not going to friggin' go on a friggin' rant and start belittling her and other people that do this type of stuff. I'm just going to say it how it is, you know. There's people that you can joke with and there's people you can't joke with. And I'm one of those people. You can't joke with me if you don't know me. and mind you, like, I've only met her once before that, and then she said this when my personal assistant went into her live. But my personal assistant, when she went into her live, she was going there to gift her. And when my personal assistant explained to her, I'm Triggz' personal assistant, I was only coming to gift you because he picks 10 people every 2-3 days. She goes, I don't give a damn about his gifts. You think I care about his freaking gifts? And I was like, oh, bro. Like, this is her mouth. Maybe she was drunk, I don't know. But I'm going to leave it and I'm going to squash it right there. Hopefully she learns from that mistake, you know. Just keep to you and your crowd. And if we bump into each other, maybe you'll meet my wife and then you'll understand, because my wife and every other female that carry themselves when they're around me, they all know that I'm not a person to joke around with if you don't know me. All right, now let's move on. Yeah, this last story is a story that came out today on the Telegraph. It's a story about Talal, Alameddine, and the stabbing that happened to him. Yeah, he got abstayed in the neck, and a video came out. Now, the video that came out, it pretty much makes Talal look bad. Yeah, Talal Alameddine look bad. Before I get onto this story and start explaining it, obviously everyone in Sydney knows who the Alameddine family is. And for those of you around the world who don't know this family, there's a lot of urdumays and stuff that happened here in Sydney. And from what the police and the media say, is apparently this family is behind a lot of it. I don't know about any of this. I'm just telling you what's on the newspaper, what's on the media, what's on YouTube. I'm not telling any of you what you don't know. You already know that rubbish, yeah? All I'm saying is, when I speak about something, I'm speaking about it because I understand it thoroughly and because I was in and amongst it. Now, this situation that I'm about to show you guys, this fight that happened inside prison, I was there during all this situation that broke out afterwards, and there's a lot of information that a lot of you don't know about, and that the media don't even know about. And then the media, who talk a lot of rubbish, they run off whatever the police say. So the police explain something to them, they'll tell their little stories, and they don't even freaking know shit, you know. This is why I'm here explaining it, because I am outside now. So when I hear rubbish being spoken on the news or rubbish being written up by the newspapers, I'm gonna come online and I'm gonna explain it the way it is, so that the wrong people don't get thrown under the bus. All right. Here's the situation that occurred. All right. I'm gonna show it to you guys like this. I think this is the best way of showing it to you guys. Where are we? Here we go. All right. Wait. I'm gonna show you guys the video footage, yeah? And then I'm gonna explain it to you guys, because I was there during this whole issue, and it was a pretty big issue that happened, yeah? Now, this is the lady that wrote the article, all right? Her name is Shannon Tonic. All right. Now, what she wrote was Talal Alameddine jailhouse stabbing, yeah? And she's explaining that this is a video that Talal didn't want to come out. I was there during all this stuff, yeah? Talal didn't care whether this video came out or not, but he put it in because he didn't want his family to see him holding his neck when blood was all over him, all right? This is the reason why. It wasn't because he was scared of anyone, which is pretty much what the newspapers are hinting towards, you know? The Alameddine that got, and that's the reason why he didn't want this video to be released. Yes, he put that paperwork in for the video footage not to be released, but it wasn't because he was scared. Mate, if you know who this family is, you'll know, you know, what's that saying that everyone says out here? If you know, then you know, or some shit like that. Yeah, like, mate, I know this family and they don't take a backward step. But the reason why he didn't want this footage released is because he didn't want his family to see him all bloodied up. You know, one thing inside prison is when you're involved in a situation like this, this is when your family get worried, because if something like this happens, the first people they called besides the ambulance is your family next to kin, and they explain, oh, hey, this is what happened to Triggz, or this is what happened to Talal. So this is why Talal didn't want the footage to go out. So I'm going to play it and I'm going to explain it as we go, yeah? All right. Talal is the one with the beard, and the guy with the hat that's blurred out, yeah? That's Dylan Maloney. He's an Aussie kid. All right, so Dylan has got a shiv in his hand, all right? Talal has now been got in the neck. He's holding his neck and he's trying to defend himself. Yeah, this is Talal defending himself, yeah? And the other guy has got a blade. And the fight is still going. If you see Talal, he's holding his neck and he's got blood all over him. And that's all the screws there. They're not running in to try to get involved. They're all standing at the gate and they're yelling out. And then that's when Talal walks out, and now they're going to run in to try to subdue Dylan Maloney. All right. Now, that's the footage that came out today, yeah? Obviously, this is the footage that Talal didn't want to come out, and he didn't care. He wasn't scared of nobody. He didn't want it to come out. I was there when he was talking about this actual situation. He actually said it while I was in the cell next door to him. So it wasn't like he was all the way down there and I was all the way here and we were talking. We were next door to each other, yeah? And he explained it to me, how they're going to put in paperwork, submissions to make sure, to try to make sure that the footage doesn't come out, yeah? And it was because of his family members. Now, for those of you who don't know Dylan Maloney, he's a young Aussie kid. Some people say he's got a bit of Koori in him, but then some people say he just says that so he can get protection from the Koori boys. I don't know. I was there with him when he was there. He's got a loud mouth, and he's someone that goes with the crowd. So Dylan Maloney, he was with a gang called bro, I don't know his stinky gang's name, but it's a lot of boys from juvie were in his gang, yeah? And when they were running amok inside prison, there was no issue with it, yeah? There was no issue with Dylan whatsoever. He was just considered one of the young guys that goes on with it. and he didn't take a backward step. He was charged with murder. I'm not going to get into his charge. All I'm going to say is while he was inside prison, him and a mate, they held hostage an officer because they wanted prescription drugs that was given out weekly inside prison. So this thing was called strips or bupe. Yeah, and during COVID, a lot of this was held back, and so they got an officer hostage. Long story short, they attacked them pretty good, and not just him, they also assaulted another officer. But then the officers did what they had to do. They got beat up, and then they got taken to Supermax. And when they came to Supermax, I was there, and it was, like, obviously I don't know him from a bar soap because he's young, but he knew some of my guys, yeah. And then when he was there, he established a relationship with Bass Hemsey. And obviously Bass Hemsey is enemies with the Alameddines. But Talal Alameddine, which is this guy here that's all bloodied, he's the religious brother, yeah? He doesn't get involved in the gang-related stuff. Now, what happened was Dylan got along with everyone, and then out of nowhere, he wanted to become a Muslim, yeah? And I was there when he was yelling out Salam Alaikum to everyone, and he started speaking a little bit of Arabic, and he was reading the Quran and asking questions every week. And little did anyone know, there was a big plot that was going on in the background. Now, I'm not going to talk about what was happening back then, what people didn't know and what people found out, because this video here that you guys are looking at right now, see Dylan Maloney, he beat the charge. So even though you guys see that Talal Alameddine is the one with the hole in his neck, Dylan went to court, took it to trial, and he beat it. And he beat it on the basis that he was under the influence, and there's no footage of how it started. So they don't know whether Dylan started it or whether Talal started it. And they're saying when they ran in, Dylan wasn't the only one who had a sheep. They're saying that Talal also had one. So there was two sheep that was found in the yard. And when they watched the footage, it clearly shows that Talal also pulled out a sheep after he got a hole in his neck. All right. Now, remember, I know everything about this situation. I'm not going to expose the background of this situation because Dylan Maloney beat this charge. Yeah. Anything that I say concerning this situation could help the police charge Dylan Maloney again. So that's the reason why I'm holding back on anything I'm saying. All I'm going to say is, this one thing. See this footage that you guys just saw? It's bullshit. I've been to Supermax, and everything inside Supermax is where us inmates walk is being filmed. See this yard here? There's cameras on every angle, all right? So you would be able to clearly see who started it and how it started, all right? But guess what? When this situation went to court, the screws only gave what you are looking at right now. How about that? I was in Supermax. I know how it works. There is freaking cameras on every angle. You can see the whole fucking yard. I'm telling you. Yeah? And the only reason why Dylan Maloney beat this charge is because you can't see who started it. Yeah? So they don't know whether Dylan was using self-defense or whether he was the one that made the first move. Now, I'm not going to say who made the first move and who started it. everyone from Supermax and everyone in prison knows what happened, yeah? All I'm gonna say is that the screws were on Dylan Maloney's side when they handed this footage over. They're full of shit, yeah? They got all the footage. The screws had every footage. Now, you guys have to remember, yeah? Talal Alameddine was charged for terrorism, yeah? The screws that are at Goulburn Supermax, they hate the Alameddines, yeah? The screws that are at Supermax, they dictate how things go. You know, when camera footage is being subpoenaed, yeah, for situations that happen inside Supermax, when footage is being subpoenaed to be handed over so it can be shown in court, the screws will send what they want. They don't send everything, they send what they want. Now, they hate Talal Alameddine and they hate Bass Hemsey. Now, you guys remember when Bass got stabbed, yeah? You guys remember what happened to Bass on several occasions? And guess what? He got abstayed the first time, they sent the footage. Bass got abstayed the second time, they sent the footage. Then Bass also had a fight with Talal Alameddine, they sent the footage. You know why they sent all that footage? It's because they hate Bass Hemsey with a passion. Bass Hemsey is considered enemy of the state, yeah? So anything that they could do to belittle Bass Hemsey, they will do it, yeah? And they always sent footage of anything that belittles Bass. And let me tell you guys something, yeah? Bass has taken on the screws many times. He's ran at them and fought with them, yeah? He's kicked the freaking shields. He's attacked the officers. Did you ever see that footage? No. Guess why you never saw that footage? Because it puts the screws on show, yeah? They will never ever show footage of them getting put on show. This footage here is a load of rubbish, yeah? This footage here is the biggest load of rubbish I've ever seen come out of prison. Every angle in this yard it can be viewed, yeah? Yet, they've only sent this to court, all right? And all of a sudden, 100% facts only, all of a sudden it is edited, yeah? How in the hell did they get this footage of only one angle when there is footage on every corner of that yard? You know what happens in these yards? Smuggling mobile phones, making sheaves, because when you got a cement area, see where that grass is? There's a cement area, yeah? Boys used to pretend they're sitting down, and when they pretend to sit down like this, they'll lean their backpack and they'll have like something in their hand and they'll do this, yeah? Screws won't be able to see it because there's cameras on every side, so they'll be trying to sharpen their sheave, yeah? But because the camera footage is on every angle, they can see their arm doing this. And guess what happens when the screws see this? They come running out. And as soon as they come running out, they go searching. Just like this, just like you guys see here. They'll come running out and they'll attack the inmates because they know they're trying to sharpen a sheave. Yet, when a guy who is charged with terrorism, you know, is on the ass end of a situation, they don't want to hand over all the footage. Yeah? This is what the Telegraph don't know. And this dumb idiot female who wrote this story doesn't even know the story, yet she writes what she thinks, what she assumed, yeah? But she doesn't understand. The whole story can actually be told if the whole footage was handed over. This is not a friggin' only camera in the fucking yard. It's Supermax. It's not maximum security. It's not medium security. It's not minimum security. It's Supermax. Every angle of that prison has got cameras on it. You can see everything. These freaking screws. Oh my. If I haven't seen corruption slap me in the face, then there it is right there. Yeah? Here it is right here. Ta, ta, ta. That's the biggest load of corruption I've ever seen in my fucking life. What? You know what? If I was someone that was just telling this story, you guys would be like, shut up, Triggz. But guess what? Because I've been there, no one can tell me to shut up. Because I have been there, I know exactly where the angles are. I know where the cement is. I know where we train. Right on that side is a dip bar. Right on the other side is a chin-up bar. Yeah? And when the situation broke out and Talal started holding his neck, they're only showing the footage of the aftermath. Yeah, they didn't show where it started. And if the footage is shown of where it started, then you would understand fully how this situation played out. And this is the thing I'm explaining to you guys. Yeah, what nobody knows. Yeah, what no civilian knows, but guess who does know? The police know, the screws know, and the inmates know. After Dylan Maloney stabbed Talal Alameddine, not long after that, Dylan's home, where his mum and his siblings stay, got shot up. Nobody knows about that, do they? And guess what? I was inside prison in Supermax, after this situation occurred, and I was standing there when Dylan was yelling at the top of his lung, "You effing dogs, you shot my mum's house up, you effing dogs, I'm gonna kill you." And I was saying, I don't have anything against Dylan, and I don't have anything against Talal. I'm just telling you guys facts, You went and attacked someone that's connected to one of the biggest gangs in Australia, the Alameddines. How did you not think that was gonna happen? Bro, wait, the older brother, Talal's older brother, he's got the one of the biggest names in Australia, all right? And then you went and attacked him from behind. After you joined the Muslim religion, so you became a Muslim, and then all of a sudden, Talal gets a hole in him, all right? I don't know if Talal started it or if you started it, but look, I actually know, but I'm not going to fucking speak about it. But all I'm going to say is the public don't know whether it was you who started or whether Talal started it. That's why you beat the charge today, or was it yesterday that you beat the charge? All right. But the thing is, you effed with a family that's known for Erdemaze. You effed with a family that knows that is known for going on with it. And right after holes was put into friggin' Talal, your mum's home got shot up. And then you were in Supermax yelling, screaming, and crying out to the screws, "I want to speak to my mum. I'm not belittling Dylan. This is actually what happened. I was there when the screws walked over and gave him the phone so he could speak to his family because their home just got shot up. And guess how it happened, This is exactly what happened. So obviously, whoever shot up his house didn't want his mum and his siblings to get hurt, because Talal, he's not the type to send orders. I want this to happen. Talal is very humble and he's very religious, all right. But at the same time, his family is very gang related. So they don't care if Talal doesn't make the call. They're gonna make the call. But this is what I got told happened. They knocked on the door. And the mum answered the door, and then they said, "Hey, we got told that this is Dylan Maloney's house, and we just had to give him $100 for his buyout." And apparently, Dylan's mum goes, "Yeah, this is where he lives. Thank you very much." So they handed her the $100, and then later on, they shot up the whole house. And guess what? This actually came on the newspaper, but the Telegraph didn't realize it's from that situation. And now they're getting on here trying to belittle Talal Alameddine, saying, "Oh, he didn't want this footage," like on the lines of the reason why he didn't want this to come out is because he was afraid of his life, or he was afraid that it would belittle him. Talal didn't care about this coming out, mate. How about you stop talking rubbish behind your fake page? Or how about you stop talking rubbish while you're sitting at home not knowing nothing about nothing, And think about this. If you had a hole in your neck, how are you going to freaking react? You guys saw the footage. The bloke has a hole in his neck and he's still trying to defend himself. He's fighting as hard as he can for his life. He did the best he could, even though he's got a hole in his neck. No screws are running in to help him, When they're yelling out, they're just trying to calm the situation because the screws are at right. Their priority is their safety first, And then as soon as Talal walked out, they ran in to subdue Dylan Maloney. And this is how it happens. Every prison you go to when situations like this happen, this is exactly what happens. Screws won't run in and get heavily involved straight away. Screws will wait it out and until the situations calm down a bit, and then they'll get involved, you know. But there are some screws that I've seen with my own eyes who just run head first and get involved. I don't think that they're trained to understand that they could get hurt, but you know, it's just their courage. So they run straight in and get involved, and it is what it is. Every officer's told to back their colleague, you know, so they go hard. When screws back each other, they go hard. And if you guys didn't see, a lot of them had batons in their hands, the officers. So that's the situation that I wanted to bring up today, is the fact that nobody ever knew that this is what happened. Yeah, Dylan Maloney had a little bit of a name for you know, a couple of weeks when he was known to be the one that got Talal. Well, this is the rumor. Yeah, I'm not saying that he did get Talal. I'm just saying this was the rumor that he got Talal. I don't know who started it. Well, I know, but I'm not going to explain it. But all this rubbish talk on the outside and throughout the system, nobody ever knew that the repercussions hit Dylan straight in the face when he found out that his mum's house got shot up. Yeah, thank you very much, Truman, allegedly. But yeah, then again, he beat the charge on the fact that he was heavily under drugs. I don't know. I don't care. All I say is, like, good on him for beating the charges, but at the same time, I'm going to say it how it is, and that's how it is. At the end of the day, I was there when the situation broke out, and Talal was nothing but a gentleman to Dylan Maloney. Talal gave him food when he asked. He used to beg for food. Oh, please, brother, can you spare some noodles? Please, brother, can you spare some tuna? I'm not trying to belittle Dylan Maloney. Everyone does this inside prison that doesn't have money. Like people like myself, Bass Hemsey, and Talal Alameddine, we had money, so we were all right. But there are guys who don't get money at all, and they'll yell out and ask. And Dylan Maloney was one of those guys. He never had money, so he would always ask. And guess who was always helping him? Talal. Talal was always giving him, not because he was being charitable, like he does look after people that are doing it hard, but he was actually doing it because Dylan was a Muslim. Dylan would always play the Muslim card. Now, what nobody knows is after the situation with Talal, Dylan had a fallout with a lot of the Muslim boys. And then when he had a fallout with a lot of the Muslim boys, he started representing the white supremacy gangs. And now he's like, there you go, hey Hitler, white power. And him and another Aussie guy who I'm not going to explain, they're just gone on a rampage with this racist stuff, yeah. And I remember one of the Islander boys that was there in Supermax got moved over to another side with his mate, and then Dylan yelled out to that screw, oh yeah, you want to move that black F and this and that, yeah. You're white and I'm white, and you don't want to freaking do this and that for me. Yeah, is that how it is? Is that how it is? You don't want to stick up for the whites. That's what Dylan was saying to the Aussie officer. And the Islander guy that he said it to, he was telling me, he goes, bro, these guys are full turned like racist now. No, seriously. He goes, yeah, this is what he said. And I was full shocked. I was like, wow, they swear. All right. I guess you're flagged. Your live is flagged for hate speech. Where? My life does not contain content mentioned in this notice. Submit. Well, yeah. So obviously some of Dylan Maloney's friends are on this live because I just got reported. Hey, I don't know why you are hating on me telling the truth. You can report me all you want. I'm just telling you guys the truth, because you are all sitting there thinking that that Dylan Maloney was a hero, but I'm here to explain situations to you guys because I don't want the younger generation to grow up getting involved in stupid situations like what Dylan Maloney got involved in. Remember, Dylan Maloney was young, yeah? And as soon as he got to jail, everyone got along with him because he was just a young guy, but he was known for like doing stupid things. And then all of a sudden, people started getting in his ear, and then Dylan Maloney started doing frontline soldier shit. And guess what happened to Dylan Maloney now? Now everyone has turned on him. Dylan Maloney is sitting in Supermax, yeah? The moment he steps into the main, if he ever goes into the, ends up in the main, he's going to get his head jumped on. Not just from the Alameddine family, but from every gang that you know inside the jail system. You know that gang that I told you that he was in from juvie? That gang was getting jumped from the Alameddines, yeah? In every prison that they went to, they were getting hammered. A lot of these Kuru boys didn't understand why they were getting jumped. And these Kuru boys, they don't take a backward step. But when they realized that they were getting jumped because of what Dylan Maloney did to Talal, they sent a message to Dylan Maloney, and I was there when this happened, yeah? And officers were telling me this situation because I'm going to explain it. The Kuru boys sent a message to Dylan Maloney and told him he's out of the gang. They told him to get effed. He brought trouble to them that they didn't even want. So remember, the Kuru boys, when they go and do their thing, they're just trying to get through the day. They're not trying to be gang related. They're not trying to take territory. They're not trying to take on turf on the outside. No, when the Kuru boys have a gang, it's their thing from their area, like whether it's Redfern or whether it's Moree, Tari, Burke. Like these Kuru boys, they're not about all that rubbish, you know. They're just trying to get through the day. But Dylan Maloney has went and got them involved in actual gang-related stuff, yeah. And reset Uso. Oh shit, seriously. Oh, well, okay. One sec, guys. Hey, thank you to everyone that's always watching my back, telling me to make sure I restart my lives. Remember, guys, I don't understand this stuff. So I just explain how I can. But just to cut a long story short, to all of you guys that support Dylan Maloney and you are reporting my lives, just get it through your head, guys. I'm not trying to belittle Dylan. I'm actually telling you guys facts. This is exactly what happened. I was there, yeah? I'm not trying to belittle Dylan. When this situation broke out, Dylan lost all his friends. Not only did Dylan lose all his friends, he lost his reputation, and then he lost his reputation from being the young good guy that everyone got along with, because he was actually well loved. When I got to Supermax, everyone got along with me, especially the Muslim boys. And this is why the Muslim boys got upset, is because Dylan, he not only did Dylan become a Muslim, but one of the biggest things inside Supermax that they teach is making sure that you don't turn on another Muslim brother. And when Dylan turned on Talal, that was him turning on a Muslim brother that was helping him. And let me explain something to you. For those of you who don't know this, yeah, Talal Alameddine, the Alameddine family, are enemies with the Hemzi family, yeah? And Talal Alameddine was still giving food to Dylan Maloney, even though Dylan Maloney was associating with Bass Hemzi. Now you tell me who's right and who's wrong, yeah? Talal Alameddine, that had the hole in his neck, yeah? He was giving food and looking after Dylan Maloney with money in his account, even though he was associating himself with Bass Hemzi, who is the Alameddine's enemy. This is what Talal's like. He looks after his Muslim brothers. And as soon as everyone turned on Dylan Maloney, he spat on the Muslim religion. He left it straight away, and then he became a racist, and he started belittling not only the Muslim religion, he started belittling black people as well. Yes, Truman, you're 100% right. Dylan Maloney does have a lot of mental health issues. Yes, I can back that up, because I was there when Dylan Maloney several times burnt down his cell. Now, if those of you who don't know the story, there's a guy named Esa Kafabalu. He put a mattress at the front of his cell door and a mattress at the back of his cell door, and then he lit it on fire, the front and the back door, and the flames went up. And when the smoke hits you, when you're inside the cell, you can't breathe, yeah? And it's the worst thing when you can't breathe inside your cell. And then the screw's job is to try to get into the cell and save you. Now, Dylan Maloney, I was there several times. I promise you, I'm not even exaggerating here. I was there like 3 times when Dylan Maloney burnt his cell down. And for those of you who don't know Dylan Maloney, look him up. You can actually get it on Freedom of Information. If you put the word Dylan Maloney down, Supermax, you can get it on Freedom of Information, and they will tell you on those facts. It's even come on the news. He's known for burning his cell when he doesn't get his way. This is the mental health problems that Dylan Maloney has, and it's not just him. A lot of boys inside prison have these problems, but you can't blame what happened to Talal on mental health issues. He knew exactly what he was getting himself into. He knew that there was going to be repercussions, but he just wanted to be involved because he wanted his name to be out there. And yeah, his name got out there a little bit, but just a little bit. That's why I'm explaining this to you guys, all you younger generation out there. And Dylan Maloney was a good kid, but he had people in his ear who was considered older boys, who are old school boys, yeah? They got into his ear, they verbaled him, and then he went and did their dirty work. And what happened when he went and did their dirty work? His mum's house got shot up. Now, this is why I explained it to you guys, why I explained this story to you guys tonight, is because you younger generation have to understand this, yeah? When you're getting yourself involved in certain situations because older boys are the ones who are giving you a big head, you know, or putting money in your account or looking after your parents, just remember, there's always a hidden agenda. And with Dylan Maloney, the hidden agenda was that he execute this mission, which he did, and then he will get everything that he wants. Yeah, obviously, Dylan Maloney has lost everything. Not only his reputation, but he also lost the respect from every inmate, and there's nothing else I can say about him. Like, he's one of the most hated people inside prison, not only from the Supermax boys, but from the Kuri boys to the Asian boys. Like, everybody wants to chop him. I actually didn't mind him. I don't know him but I spoke to him 2 or 3 times, and I actually didn't mind him. But I needed to tell this story because a lot of you young guys who are growing up now from Dylan Maloney's area, I know all of you guys look up to Dylan Maloney because you consider him a soldier, yeah? But listen to me. Listen carefully, yeah? A soldier is nothing when you're doing the wrong thing, you know? He went frontline street soldier for the wrong group, and he went frontline street soldier putting himself in the wrong, and now he's gonna get got if he doesn't go to protection. When he comes out into the main, if he does not go to protection, I'm telling you, he's gonna get got, and he's gonna get got hard. I told you all a story about a guy named Jesse Spelaviros, I think his last name was. You know, he was well loved. Everybody got along with him, but then he started playing gangster in his little safe haven. And as soon as he came out of his little safe haven, he got got. Everywhere he went, he got got. You know, and this is what's gonna happen to Dylan Maloney as well. Right now, being in Supermax, that's his safe haven. In his safe haven, no one can touch him. But as soon as he gets out of that safe haven and he goes onto the into the main, good luck to him. You know, I don't wish any ill will towards him, I just wish him all the best, because I'm telling you, he effed with the wrong group. Anyway, that's it from me tonight. I want to give big love and respects to everyone that was tapping up the likes. Big love and respects to everyone that was watching my live tonight, and to everyone that supports and sends messages through that make me feel like this is worthwhile. Like, you don't understand. You guys are the reason why I keep doing what I'm doing. I really hate TikTok. I hate going live, but I do this with the hope that the younger generation learn from it. Shared what it's called, please. That song is not available yet. It hasn't been released. My brother 212 Heat's album will be released real soon, and his first song will come out real soon. It's bangers, but yeah, all I can say is it's gonna be out soon. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave it at that. I was gonna do a few battles, but I really can't be bothered. Again, my love and respects to everyone. It is what it is with Triggz. Have a good night's sleep, and God bless.